What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Daddygate podcast. Always been here, always will be, in your hearts and in your souls. And I am joined today by my man, Mr.
Shaun, how's it going, Wheezy?
What's up, my man? This is take 3.
Yeah, streaming all over the place by accident, folks. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we had a great cut, and I realized I didn't hit the record button, so we had great jokes, but hopefully this one will be funny again. So my apologies to you, Mr. Chancer, you 10,000 subscriber mother.
Thanks, man. Fucking hell, yeah, man. It was nice to hit the 10k on the day that Shaun Attwood got banned. Not to gloat or anything like that, but man, it just felt like it was some sort of natural, universal justice, you know. Yeah. Even though he got banned for his own reasons, he didn't get banned due to us. You know, he got banned because of his own ridiculous channel and the crap that he's been pulling repeatedly.
Well, that's the thing.
It's beautiful.
So, to clarify, the show is being produced, recorded in the sunny climes of Florida. Make no questions about it. The palm trees are swaying with the light wind in the air right now. Like we don't care, you know what I'm saying? But the thing is, we have been following Mr. Shaun Attwood, a public figure who has done talks, TED Talks at Oxford, and you name it. He's been all over the place. A public figure, no question about it.
High profile.
Now, we have been covering his misdeeds, his missteps, under 100% fair use. You know, criticism, mockery is all covered by that. So I just want to preface that so that there's no question. Now, he made a series of missteps and miscalculations this week. I mean, it was like the whole Katy Perry crap, and we did it on take 1 and 2, and I don't want to do it on take 3, but, you know, just a hot and cold yes and no. He was banned and then not banned, and then he's back and not back, and the way he handled it, and we're definitely Sunday morning quarterbacking this situation by asking for YouTube to help and having the followers tweet at him, all the while his followers are telling YouTube that they're full of pedos. Not a good look. Not a good strategy.
Not a good look.
I mean, we can cover them little by little as we move on. But then yesterday he did a live stream impromptu with Matt Orfalia, and with a straight face, he was talking shit to us in the live chat. And then right before the stream shut down, you know, he had to throw in some digs. And so just misstep after misstep, and it doesn't surprise us at this point in time, you know what I mean? After covering them for several months now, almost a year, we have been used to this kind of crap.
What happened was, for the few people that may not know, is that Shaun Attwood got banned, I believe it was on Thursday. He appealed and he got his channel back up. I think it was yesterday. Now, after he got his channel back up, messages were coming through from various SOC accounts that it suspected are linked to Mr. Attwood, effectively gloating within 10 minutes of his channel getting back up, basically coming on to different channels and just saying, guess who's back, you know, all this kind of thing. Fair enough, you know, but he's having a little celebration, a little victory run. But you got to wonder where his priorities are. He's just got his business back, and that's his first thing that he does is come and put a message on my channel using one of his SOC accounts, believed to be, allegedly, let's say, but believed with good reason to be him, and, you know, basically gloating. All well and good, fine. It's a bit of sport, you know. But then he goes on this podcast with Matt Orfalia, I think. Apologies if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. Now, Matt Orfalia is a supporter of Shaun Attwood, which, as I said to you in the last recording there, we can't blame people for being supporters of Shaun Attwood. We were all supporters of Shaun Attwood once. You don't know what you don't know. So Matt Orfalia obviously has Shaun Attwood, not knowing any of the background of the situation, presumably. I don't know Matt at all, so I don't want to mischaracterize him. But I feel fairly confident in being able to say that because you could see Matt's mind working as he was speaking to Shaun Attwood, and a lot of the things that Shaun Attwood was saying were not making sense. Matt actually asked him about Daddygate, for example, and Shaun's response didn't really make sense, and you could tell it didn't really make sense because it's all lies, and when you're lying about something, it doesn't quite add up. Matt, having what would appear to be a reasonably high IQ, was confused by a lot of Shaun Attwood's answers and continuously tried to press him and wait, what do you mean by that? And one of the things was the copyright strikes that Shaun Attwood struck against you. And as we were discussing before, it seems that Matt Orfalea is quite against censorship and genuinely does seem to be against censorship. So he kept pulling Shaun back to saying, well, it sounds like it was fair use that you struck down. Surely it was fair use. And Shaun said, no, they were just putting straight re-uploads of my videos up, which is absolute lies.
What a lie. When have we ever done that?
Exactly. Total lies. But then he said, with little clips in here and there. And you could see Matt look at Matt's face. And Matt was like, yeah, but that sounds like fair use.
Yeah.
If there's little clips in there, that's fair use, and I'm against censorship. So, I mean, props to Matt. He doesn't actually know the background. Shaun was feeding him a lot of bullshit. The thing that he was talking about that amused me the most was when Shaun said, I've got a cyberbullying activist on my side and she's talking about getting down these channels. He talked about my channel. He said, there's still one of the big channels. Oh, I'm not going to say a big one, but I'm not going to mention his name either, but there's still him up. And he actually mentioned the cyberbullying campaigner by name and said she's going to bring him down. And she's told me that she's in talks with YouTube and that she's going to bring him down. And he also admitted that this supposed cyberbullying campaigner had contacted the police about me. And you could see Matt Orfalea just like, what? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, surely there's laws in place that you could seek if they're breaking the law without going through YouTube and trying to censor them. It was very entertaining. And the one thing that I did not say about that cyberbullying campaigner was that Attwood was saying the only reason he was going after trolls was because they were trying to get Callie's child taken away by social services. That's what he kept going back to. He kept saying, I was only in it passionately because they were trying to get sex workers, trafficking victims, children taken away. He never mentioned that the cyberbullying campaigner who's on his team is the same person that was doing that. That was her that was trying to do that, He was keeping Matt in the dark about so much, just lying to his face, disrespecting him, trying to flatter him here and there, which wasn't working. Again, Matt seems to be a guy with a lot of integrity from what I could see from that video. And he just seemed confused about the whole thing. And he was kept in the dark by a lot of what Attwood was saying as well. Attwood was effectively just lying to his face by omission. We'll see if anything more comes out of that, if Matt has any comments in future about it, or maybe he'll interview him again. But, I mean, the gloating nature of Attwood's comeback interview on his channel.
Well, with a straight face, he's looking at the camera talking shit. In one of the comments he put, he goes, I'm Wheezy's daddy today, LMFAO. And he's looking at the camera. He's looking at the camera with a straight face. Looking professional as he does. He's good at looking professional. He's saying that he's my daddy. I'm not gonna lie. I did laugh. I'm like, well played. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I did say well played, you asshole. Well played.
Well played, but was it well played? Because the guy that was interviewing him, Matt, was probably reading the chat, saying, hold on a second. Why have you got... You know what I mean? Why are you not telling me that you're sending this message out on the chat just now?
Well, not only that, the live chat was being spammed with Daddygate. And he's saying that he's my daddy today? LMFAO?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He pretty much admitted to it on the live chat.
Did you know he also said in that interview that YouTube has told him that he's done absolutely nothing wrong. He's broken no guidelines. Bullshit. He's had no infractions during his entire 13-year time on YouTube. We know that he's had infractions because he's had warnings before. So to say that he's had no infractions is ridiculous. He's taken down, as he said, almost 50% of his channel. he comes onto that interview, gloats, absolutely gloats, spams Twitter with that interview link to say, look, I'm on this channel here, I'm back. Thanks for all your support. And then today, Sunday morning, the come down's probably kicking in from the party last night at Camp Attwood, and his channel's down again. Now, whether that's going to stay down or not, I put a poll on my channel, and last time I checked, it was about 50-50 as people think that he's going to be back up or not. But, you know, what do you think, man?
I think after the second time, though, man, so the first time, and he was able to come back, it's quite a feat to get reinstated, I will say that. However, he did not keep true to what he told YouTube. He told YouTube he was going to be a 100% shill, in other words, you know, to put it plainly. And he was going to remove all those videos, and there was still almost 1,000 videos up.
He promised never to do abuse content again. He promised never to expose elites again.
So he didn't in the first place. He didn't hold his end of the deal. Had he complied, had he maybe deleted some of the tweets where YouTube was getting called pedos and all this stuff,
exactly,
that may have been to his favor. So when this happens, in my opinion, I mean, this is just speculation on my side, but he was already on a tightrope. Yes, he got reinstated, which is a tremendous feat. But now you're walking a tightrope.
Oh, you're on one little screw.
Yeah, you're under the magnifying glass, and just like I have had a handful of characters that have been spamming to, you know, try to eliminate me from every platform, he probably has that 100-fold than what I do. You know what I'm saying? So every little thing is being scrutinized. Everything he does is being watched. And instead of protecting it, instead of being more cautious, he thought he could gloat around for a couple hours.
Went on a gloating spree.
Well, yeah, even like I said on the mat at the very end, the stream was over and he couldn't help himself but say, down with Wheezy, down with what is truth. You know, he had to throw that in there. He couldn't have just said, all right, thank you for the interview.
Bloody ridiculous.
He had to throw it in there, and he was laughing, having a great time. So
how often in life do you get an opportunity to get your business back after it's been removed from you? You know, and that was his priority, was to just gloat, stick two fingers up at everyone, act as if he's untouchable, and he may well get this ban overturned as well. It may be an algorithmic. So? It might be an algorithmic glitch.
I don't think so, man. I think the second time around. And you know, we actually did a little bit of research before we started recording, where I told you I had seen some screenshots of his channel looking kind of like he may have deactivated it or, you know, turned off the channel for a short time. So we wanted to double check, but then when we clicked on the link, we did confirm that it was removed due to community guidelines violations
again.
So when I seen that, to me at least, this is just my speculation, so if I was to vote on your poll, which I haven't sadly, but I will right after we get done with this.
I just checked and it's literally 50-50 out of almost 300 votes.
I'm gonna see if I can tip the scales right now. But just looking at it from that sense, I think he's done, dude. You can't. They're not going to play these limbo games where, okay, you're gone. Okay, you're not. Okay, you're gone. Okay, you're not. Yeah. Okay, you're gone. You're not. I think the first time, if you can come back from the first one, that's a huge feat. Yeah, in my opinion, and I'm voting right now on your poll. Oh shit, it is 50-50. It's weird, this ban will be permanent. Fuck you. So I just hit it right now.
Part of me does actually wonder if the decision to overturn him yesterday was actually a mistake and it's been looked at again and somebody said, what are you doing? You can't unban him. We banned him for this specific reason and he has to stay banned.
In my live stream, I went over and I did it in the Facebook group. I did a little live on it. I had received word from YouTube that the beef between him and I, especially after him hitting me with 6 false copyright strikes, all 6 which were overturned. Now, they were overturned, and you broke it down. I can't remember if you did it on this cut or in the last cut. Now I'm confused. But during those copyright strikes, he tried to claim, yes, especially yesterday with Matt, he tried to say that I used loopholes and that's why all 6 didn't stay. He didn't mention the fact that the copyright strikes included filing copyright strikes on thumbnails that were given permission, on videos that were put on other channels which were later deleted. He didn't talk about that kind of stuff. When
he tried to say to Matt that it was full videos you were putting up as well, and then adding, but just with little clips in it. Okay, so fair use then, you know, even though that's
complete fabrications,
even though that's completely made up, that would have been fair use. That false example that you gave to Matt. Yeah,
well, it was all lies, and in full disclosure, I did send Matt. I'm not going to go into details, but I did send Matt the video that was illegally copyright stricken. And I let him be the judge. I'm not going to discuss what else happened, but that's what it is. Now, when I got a hold of the YouTube representative regarding this situation, he told me straight up, holy crap, there's a lot of stuff going on. He didn't say I was innocent, but he also acknowledged that the Shaun stuff was equally, if not more, egregious than my stuff.
There's a big file somewhere. YouTube has a massive file on everyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I guarantee you they know what sock accounts people use. I guarantee you they are aware
fake subs, all that stuff.
They've got all that in a file. You know, now whether they are fair and they say, look, I wasn't punished for that at the time, so it's disregarded, or whether it makes up part of a bigger decision. Because it's quite a big decision to take down a channel which has got 700,000 subscribers, even though, as far as YouTube's concerned, they don't care. There's millions of channels with 700,000 subscribers, but it's still quite a big decision because it's somebody with a large presence, and it's possible that it could cause ripples. It could cause waves in the media, for example, although I wouldn't suggest Mr. Attwood goes to the media if this is a permanent ban, because if it goes to the media, everything else is going to come out through the media. But either way, YouTube has to take that decision not lightly, you know, and especially to ban him twice, you know. Yeah. I mean, they must have looked through his file and just been like, what is this? But that makes me wonder if it is an algorithmic glitch this second time, because why wouldn't have they just kept the first one permanent? Why would they then ban him just straight away the next day? Because it was literally the next day that he got banned again. He hadn't had time to gloat.
But at the same time, at the same time, YouTube probably didn't see the tweets that were directed at them where, they were asking to be reinstated, but other tweets were calling them full of pedos and all this other stuff. I'm sure it takes time to process that as well, and that could not be good. And like I said, I just have a hard time believing that they're just gonna cancel, reinstate the same channel over and over like some kind of dance. I think it's not 3 strikes, you're out. I can't see it. So I don't know. I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong.
If it's a glitch, I think he'll be. If it does turn out to be some sort of glitch, then I think he will be back. But why would it be a glitch? You know what I mean? Like, would they not have put something on to say you can't? Don't make sure it doesn't go down again for the same stuff? Or had he just been given a deadline, just told, look, you need to get rid of these specific videos, and he never did it because he was far too busy just sticking his fingers in people's faces and laughing.
Just again a series of missteps, misdeeds.
Well, the trail of stupidity, man. Has the trail of stupidity finally come to an end on YouTube?
Well, and we haven't done a recording in quite some time, and I don't know how much you want to touch on this real quick. Shaun and his anti-cyberbullying campaigner did a podcast, right? A short time before the channel was removed. So it's pretty ironic that his channel got removed, he was using that podcast as, some kind of a safety, to lean on, something like that, I'm being taken down for cyberbullying, but I did a podcast with a anti-cyberbullying campaigner. And for all those that don't follow me on Odyssey, I broke down I think it's called What Constitutes as Hate Speech. That was a live stream, 2 hours, part 1. I showed literally tons and tons and tons of screenshots of this person who proclaims themselves as an anti-cyberbullying person, with racial stuff, with all kinds of bullying stuff, with stalking, harassing, screenshots, evidence.
Yeah, they're doing the same to me just now, man. She's following us around YouTube basically and commenting on our comments on other people's channels. Who's harassing you here?
Yeah, well, remember before we started recording, I had a notification that this anti-cyberbullying campaigner followed the What Is Truth podcast on Twitter. And as soon as I'm like, what the hell? Why are they following me on Twitter? They're always
you're stalking them. How can they?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why would you follow your stalker on Twitter?
I clicked on the notification and then I was blocked immediately. So I'm going to ask, who is stalking who? Verifiably speaking, this is what I'm saying. On my channel, I documented screenshot after screenshot after screenshot as evidence. Not just me talking, not just me making these outlandish claims. I documented everything. I put it out there. And so when you see the title of this person as a self-proclaimed anti-cyberbullying, it is completely laughable. It's pathetic, man. Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to mention any names, but you know, this individual changed their channel just a couple of weeks prior to going on the Shaun Attwood podcast to market it as all about anti-cyberbullying. That was clearly a setup Shaun knew his channel was in trouble, and he clearly got this person to change their channel to make it look as if they're an anti-cyberbullying campaigner, to get them on his show so he can then have some ammunition to say, look, YouTube, I've got an anti-bullying campaigner on. You know, like I've learned my lesson, as he literally said to them in his own initial tweet when he was sobbing away on Twitter. He said, I've learned my lesson. You've learned your lesson. You're supposed to have a mission about exposing. It's supposed to be the war on pedos, his exact words. Thank you for my 50,000 subs that I got in a week. Long live the war on pedos. We're in this together. And then a couple of months later, I've learned my lesson, YouTube. I won't be doing it again. I mean, just no moral foundation whatsoever. It's profit before justice in every single way.
And not only that, this is why last night I was saying it's not Shaun Attwood anymore. It's Shill Attwood. How bad do you believe in your principles? How bad do you believe in your message? I obviously believe in my message, and that's why I've decided to move on. You know, I wasn't. It was what it was. I'm not gonna go around how I really feel. You know what I'm saying? And for someone, oh yeah, if I promise to no longer do this, no longer do that. It's 100% selling out, and it's fully admitted. I mean, what's he gonna say now? That, oh yeah, I never said that. Yes, you did. You fully admitted to selling out.
He calls other people cowards as well. You know, it's like that is the most cowardly. And I just don't see how he couldn't have turned that into an opportunity. You know what I mean? Surely he could have just galvanized people towards, you know, start a website, or, you know what I mean? Like, let's continue the fight. And we all know that there's no fight. We all know that he's just making all this stuff up to manipulate gullible people. I'm not saying all his subscribers are gullible at all. Many of them are just uninformed at the moment. They just do not realize. But we all know he is trying to manipulate his gullible followers into thinking that he's providing some sort of justice to victims and survivors, all of whom had their videos removed from his channel, or almost all of whom had their videos removed from his channel. He left a few questionable ones, which seemed to be a bit silly in light of what he'd said to YouTube, to actually leave up. And I've no interest in reporting Shaun Attwood's channel for any reason, you know, unless he comes after me, you know. No. But certainly there's hundreds of people watching Shaun Attwood's channel.
You're too crafty for that.
Yeah. people don't know what you're talking about there. That is the best thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, if people don't know what that is, the so-called anti-cyberbullying campaigner has apparently called the police in Scotland on me, trying to find me, to identify me for, I don't know, the baying mob or something like that. And they've obviously been contacted back by the police to say, because they reported me for hate speech, apparently, and hate crimes. This is their own words. The police obviously came back to them and said, can you give us an example, a quote, or point us in the right direction to see any of this hate crime? And obviously none exists. So she's clearly been told you can't have somebody done for hate crime if no evidence of it exists. No. Because it's never happened, you know? And she literally mentioned on a video in which she said, was it the video that she claimed BitChute had said you wouldn't get your channel on, they deleted your channel off BitChute, which was a lie.
That's another... We'll talk about that. Yeah, let's talk about that. Yeah. But
in that same video, she said the Scottish one's still up, unfortunately, because he's too crafty. Because he doesn't say the hate speech. He's too crafty to say the hate speech. Like, I'm too crafty. You know what I mean? Like, that's like me just accusing you of being a burglar and just saying, but you're too crafty. You haven't actually broken into anyone's house and stolen anything. So
I saw you looking at that house. You wanted to steal. So basically, what you're being accused of is thought crime, essentially. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Because she's trying to think that she knows what's going through your head, and she's trying to punish you for any thoughts that may be going through your head. Thought crimes, man. It's ridiculous. You've never said anything bad. Now, where you and I differ is that I just let my mouth run. I've said things that are harsh. I use adult language. I will admit that. But I've never been hateful. But because I use swear words, I've been accused of this and that, completely fabricated nonsense. So it's not that you're being crafty. I just use swear words. That's the only difference. And
I think that's the thing as well. It's because we speak to each other. She thinks that I'm responsible for what you say and vice versa. We're responsible for each other, which is, again, absolutely moronic. It's like something out of a communist dictatorship.
So because she speaks with Shaun, does that mean this person needs to be held under the same YouTube scrutiny? You know what I mean? For the content that Shaun puts up? Because they speak.
Well, she also said in that same video that BitChute had great news, another win for cyberbullying. BitChute has agreed to remove the What is Truth podcast from their platform. Now, there's no possible way that this person can be mistaken in what they're saying. This is an out and out deliberate lie, deliberately said to mislead the audience, because that is not true. And you contacted BitChute, you got a response from the actual owner of BitChute, a guy called John. I'm pretty sure he's the owner, the name that was signed off, saying, sorry, I've got no idea what you're talking about. This rings new, because you described the situation perfectly to him, didn't you? You named the person accusing you.
I'll send you the screenshot of the email, because I sent BitChute an email because for one, the way I knew that this was all BS is because I have only been on BitChute twice, and it was all for research purposes. I have never, ever created a BitChute account. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, what the hell is this person even talking about? It floored me. So here was my email to BitChute. To whom it may concern, I was recently notified that my podcast, the What is Truth podcast, has been censored / canceled from BitChute. This was news to me, as I have never made an account with BitChute. This claim was made by a YouTuber with several thousand subscribers and goes by the pseudonym quote, quote, quote. This person clearly stated that they had been working with you, BitChute, in canceling me. Could you please confirm or deny this for me, please? Also, if this is simply yet another fabrication by this cancel culture individual, may I have permission to join your platform? Thank you in advance. Wheezy, smiley face. Then John from BitChute replies to me, hi, thanks for your email. Apologies. I'm not really sure what you mean here. Can you forward us a link to this? Yes, you are free to join BitChute. Kind regards, the BitChute team. And then John. Now, I did show him links to the YouTube videos that this person put, to the Twitter messages, but they gave me the green light. If I want to make a channel on BitChute, I'm more than happy, or they're more than happy to welcome me there. Another clear fabrication, and this isn't the first time, and the amount of lies that this self-proclaimed cyberbullying campaigner has made are well documented, and they're just as verifiable as that one. And why this person continues to do this, I have no idea. It's mind-boggling, to be honest.
It's totally fake, false, absolutely ridiculous, and no evidence has been shown, obviously, by that person, because none exists whatsoever. It's unlikely they even contacted BitChute. But they've also said that Odyssey agreed to take your channel down. They also said that this channel was taken down, the Daddygate podcast, and they also said that my channel had been taken down, and all of it due to background discussions as part of this cyberbullying campaign. This is absolute complete lies, and I would consider this, if I was of the mind to report things like this, I would consider that to be cyberbullying. 100%.
That's harassment, cyberbullying, everything, 100%.
Man. It's so strange. It's so malicious. And then she's getting the police involved in things like that. Attwood has confirmed that she's got the police involved. She has stated that she's got the police involved as well. This person actually claims to be a former police officer. On Attwood's channel, they were billed as an ex-cop.
Billy Moore podcast as well.
Dispute, yeah, and that is in great dispute as to whether that's actually true. So we're dealing with quite potentially quite a dangerous person. Quite a somebody that's not thinking properly.
I don't know of any normal person that will go through those lengths. That's not normal behavior. Those are my words.
It just seems to be an absolute campaign of malicious vindictiveness.
Yeah, man, it's I don't get it. And is it, some people will have their own speculations, their own theories. A lot of this stuff doesn't make sense. And so is there something larger? Is there a bigger picture? Even last night, one of these characters called in to the show, on my show, at the very end. I think it was 1 o'clock UK time when this person called in, and initially tried to do a deep voice, try to pass off as a male, and I immediately, like, you could hear it in my voice. I'm like, oh god, here we go. I don't know what these clowns, what kind of games these people are playing. It's ridiculous. And then I guess it'd be one thing to play games, one thing to be silly and making up fabrications. That's one thing. But when you turn around and try to get law enforcement involved, try to get us deplatformed from every single social media place, then it becomes dark and twisted. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's another level.
It's criminal behavior. They need to be taking a look at themselves, really. I'm not taking stuff off YouTube. You know what I mean? I'm just focusing on my channel. These things don't bother me in the sense that I lie awake at night. But even today, to see that when I left a message on True Media, shout out to True Media, by the way, keeping the spotlight on Attwood as well
100%.
for a long time.
Much love, True Media.
He put out a really good video today which proved that Shaun Attwood was not facing 200 years. And his parents knew he was only facing 25 years at the start, which sounded like a lot of minimal sentences stacked on top of each other. So again, a kingpin doesn't face 25 years in America. A kingpin doesn't.
A penguin, a pangolin,
pingu. A kingpin does not face 25 years in America. They face hundreds or thousands of years, as you know. That's the way your sentencing works.
Yeah, you're like Moses. You're the prison Moses by the time you come out, 900 years old and shit.
So the idea is that they stack it up so that you then enter into a plea bargain because it's far too risky otherwise, which I think is an absolutely immoral way of doing things. It's completely. I'm all up for long sentences and people being punished severely for serious crimes, but that's immoral as anything. But anyway, that's a different story.
Different topic.
Topic altogether, which I'm sure we can discuss one day. But Mr. Attwood only facing 25 years and his parents knowing that he was only facing 25 years all that way back, I thought was quite a fascinating thing. So I commented on True Media's channel. Now, this anti-bullying campaigner, within a couple hours, commenting, saying, keep an eye on my social media accounts in the next couple hours because there's going to be an expose on you being a convicted drug dealer, which is something that's already been absolutely discussed. There's quite a well-known drug dealer, a public article about some well-known crack addict, actually, which I've got more information about than I care to after his name actually entered public circulation. But regardless, people have got this news article and they're saying that crack addict and heroin addict is Chancer, which I find extremely amusing. And the guy got 8 years in prison or something for selling crack and heroin.
So apparently you're live streaming from prison right now.
Could be. Yes,
maybe you're hanging out with T-Bone, Xena, according to these
I'm a great
bogus
proponent
reports.
of long prison sentences, but yes, of course, I'm an ex jailbird myself. So there we go.
You know too much.
Once again, though, of course, no evidence is shown.
Dude, check out your Skype messages. This may be breaking news. We were talking about the algorithm, and this could be breaking news, but
can I read this out loud?
If you'd like.
So it's who's it from?
From Shaun.
It's a screenshot of Shaun Attwood. It says, today's hashtag cyberbullying strikes include my interviews with Andrew Wallace OBE, who introduced the Modern Day Slavery Act in the UK, and Maggie Oliver UK, who is tagged, an ex-police detective who worked in child protection, attached. It seems that the algorithm is repeatedly striking my channel, which the Appeal Review Board ruled yesterday wasn't in violation of YouTube's policies. Huge thanks to everyone continuing to tweet your concerns to @TeamYouTube. Appreciatively yours, Shaun Attwood. So it's strikes that are being put onto him for other videos, about sex trafficking, which he said he was going to take down. So they're still up 24 hours later. That's why you've got a strike. You should have been busy actually curating your channel
instead of talking shit.
Instead of talking shit, exactly. You always put things clearly and to the point, Wheezy. But exactly right. His priorities were completely wrong. He went on a celebration run instead of curating his channel to ensure that it fit with what YouTube was expecting of him. I don't want to see somebody getting censored for past videos that go back all the way, to be perfectly honest with you. But if he said he's going to take them down and he hasn't taken them down, what's he expecting? So his channel's going to be on thin ice, to be honest with you. It does sound as if it might be an algorithmic issue, though. So it may actually be that
it could be,
back
but
again.
People have their own Twitter accounts, and we'll see how Twitter works.
Do you believe what Attwood is saying there as well?
That's the thing. All these characters involved, all these characters tied in one way, shape, form, or another, either directly or indirectly. All these people are certified, confirmed liars. So when I see things like this, it is eye-opening, but at the same time, I take it with a grain of salt.
Did you hear the cyberbullying campaigner talking about other channels, saying that there's going to be other channels getting struck down soon and naming other podcasters? I'm not going to name them, but trying to drag other podcasters' names into it, almost as if to give the idea, the signal, these people are also doing it. Let's get them taken down too.
Yeah. Cancel culture, man. Another disgusting symptom of this cancel culture. And I've said this before, and we'll go into detail at another time, but Daddygate podcast will always exist, whether here or on Odyssey. It's always going to run.
We will always.
Our friendship and bond is amazing. But the thing is, when you are okay with a little bit of cancellations because it hurts your feelings, because you don't agree with that point of view, you then will be okay with further diminishing of the rights, and it just keeps creeping more and more into the point where eventually these people are going to get hit as well.
They'll get hit as well.
They will.
The worst part is it bleaches the conversational landscape completely. It sanitizes all public discourse, so you can only talk about certain things, and we're actually in the middle of that just now. You're straight outside the lines of political correctness, and you better watch out in many societies. But like you say, the hand of cancel culture will come for you too. That's why you should never be voting in laws which allow the government to restrict people's speech, because the government of the day has different philosophies than the government that's going to come along and use that against you in the future.
Yeah. So you could be sitting pretty right now. Things might be aligned into your way of thinking, but eventually it's going to come around and bite you right in the ass. Like and that's what these people don't understand. Yeah. That's why these people are laughing. But yeah,
Attwood has learned this the hard way himself. You know, just now he's been laughing and gloating and joking about other people getting cancelled, and actually
let's just put it blunt about Truthy,
about you getting banned. Yeah, exactly, man. He tried to get you banned by filing 6 copyright strikes between him and his colleague.
Associates,
his employee and his associates. They tried to get you struck down, and Attwood was absolutely gleeful about that.
He even went to Odyssey. Shaun,
that's right. Yeah,
Shaun followed me to Odyssey, as well as all these other, weirdly enough, all these other associates of him, whether it's a channel with just a couple hundred subs, a couple of channels like that, or a couple of channels with thousands, they all followed me to Odyssey. So this is why I'm asking you. Yeah, this is why I'm asking you guys on Daddygate. Please follow me on Odyssey, because I have these guys following me on Odyssey now. And Shaun came in to Odyssey, but he was laughing, and in a span of 5 hours was leaving me comment after comment, just gloating again, talking shit, listening to my live streams and talking shit. So. And we've already covered it, man, but who the hell does it? Wouldn't you have more important, pressing issues to attend to? But
well, if you've won and you've got somebody stuck off YouTube, why would you go and follow them to another platform to laugh? You know what I mean? To laugh, not to take a serious stand against what the content is, but just to laugh, and for you then to lose your channel and then beg and debase yourself in front of the world to promise YouTube that you'll never follow what you claim is your life's mission again, and that you'll only do things that educate children about the dangers of drugs from now on. You get a second chance, a rare second chance, and you screw it up by taking that time to gloat against your enemies in a very public fashion, and then you lose your channel again. So I don't know how many lessons, and I said in my video, you can be absolutely certain Mr. Attwood will not learn his lesson from this. In my video about the topic of him actually going down the first time, I said you can rest assured and know safely that Attwood will not learn his lesson, and he still won't. You know, how many second chances does he need when his channel goes back up again? Is he going to do another round of gloating, or is he actually going to go and fix the issues that's getting him cancelled? Some
people just never learn, man. That's the thing. They don't learn for the first time.
Man.
Yeah. We've seen that displayed from the very beginning, so it's not a surprise to us. I'm sure it's probably a surprise to some, but for us that have been following it real close as much as we have, it's almost expected. It's behavior that's expected from this guy.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. All right, my man. Thank you so much for joining me. I know your schedule's been hectic. So we had to cram this in one way or another, and here we are, and I'm glad we got it done.
Definitely. Lovely to catch up on Mr. Attwood's second banning of the weekend.
Yeah, man. And if you haven't subscribed to my man Chancer, please hit him up. I know he's a big dog these days. He's rolling around the YouTube circles with the big boys. He's part of the YouTube elite. Right.
Keep my head down, man.
You can still hit his subscribe button, god damn it.
Thanks to everybody who subbed. Really appreciate it, and I love you all.
And if you want to follow my once glorious channel and help me rebuild it over on Odyssey, let us make Odyssey great again. Link will be in the description. The party's still the same thing. It still gets rowdy and wild and loads of good times. So hit us up there. Our Twitter handles will be there. Feel free to help us spread the word and retweet our tweets. All that stuff helps out. So that's another way to help us out. So until next time, we will have to catch you guys on the flip side.
Catch you later, folks.
Peace, y'all.